Don't you wish you had a way to transport all your goats? Guess what? Here at Lance Corporal Liru Industries, I mean, damn. Gotta vary them up a little bit then. Forgot it does attach to instead of attach to relative.
Hey, Sierra.
That's not me. There we go.
I need that. I need that.
All right, gentlemen, I've given you one more gift.
Oh, I love it.
There it is.
Wait, what is it?
A truck. Yo! All right, somebody has to make use of that. If you don't, Liru.
Yeah.
Where did they? So, if I ask you nicely, can you tell me where they spawn so I can put what I'm gonna do in front of them? Because I'm just not even gonna shoot them. I'm literally gonna just pretend I have a broken tire or busted like fucking car in front of their where they're gonna come from.
I can't tell you where they spawn because you're not even. I don't even know where they're gonna spawn.
Could you tell us where we spawn?
Okay, I guess I'll just do it somewhere at an intersection somewhere and just.
You spawn up at 101-167. I told them to focus on coming in from the south or the west, but I also overheard them say that they're gonna land in like 4 or 5 different places. So.
Jesus fucking.
Yeah. Good luck.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
they're really trying to fuck
kind of
us.
want to be part of a Liru op.
Are they trying to hit
This is not a Liru op. This is a KOG op. The difference is.
Still.
Yeah. This gets messy.
This is gonna get very messy very fast.
Yeah.
That's what happens when I suck on some cogs.
Really quick.
All right, hold on. Any other question before I teleport back?
So SVDs are
I appreciate you having me.
2 max for the entire op. So yeah.
SVDs max?
What about
Yeah.
the SKS?
Alright, Rise.
You can do an SK. Yeah, anything Soviet-Afghan era is fine. Anything on the later end of the Soviet-Afghan era is a little limited, but yeah, no, SKSs are fine.
I'll police the fucking stooges.
Thank you, Dante.
I'll save the SKS for later when things get a bit.
Here's it. You
hairier.
can load these cars up with as much stuff as you want, as long as it's within the rules, and you can shift out accordingly.
But no manure and no.
Put spare clothing in
gasoline.
there to fake them out.
Oh,
I love the camera, dude.
Yeah. Come on, think checkpoint RP, guys.
Exactly.
Correct.
Why did? Hey, Liru, check the red car.
Don't
It's
do
got
that.
its
We're not
inventory.
allowed to have fun.
No, wrong one. Red car.
I'm sorry, I'm colorblind.
Yeah, it's fine. You're just colorblind.
I'm still colorblind. There we go. Yeah, that's a good start.
I'm on a hunting trip.
What's in that gun bag?
It's mags for the gun. It's a hunting trip.
I see.
Whether or not it be people or not, we'll find out.
Oh my god. All right, I'm gonna teleport back. Just shoot me a message on Discord if you need me again.
Habibi, I have.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh man. This is either gonna go really, really well or really, really poorly. And at this point, I'm too afraid to. I'm too afraid to wonder how it's gonna go either way. This is a 1 life op. Let me specify that. Putting that in the title.
Oh, let's fucking go! Y'all are gonna fucking eat shit and die, and that's my favorite part.
It's gonna be right.
Nudes.
Within my bag.
How are you all doing in chat? Wee woo here. We're probably not gonna step off for another. Did you break your car? How did you get it? What? But how? That's amazing. Well, the other one's working fine. I'm trying to have a few dynamic cars, so. Ay. What are these? Oh, the animal modules. Got it. Oh, did I accidentally? Okay, let me just do an all order there and then re-add. There we go. Because I don't want to see modules. Because If you see it, there's a small chance you can delete it. You don't want to delete it. All right, he's going to path all the way back to his damn vehicle. I'm just going to put him here. I'm just worried that moving him sometimes changes his order. I also need to heal him because he probably hurt himself on being a dum-dum there. What are the stakes here? What happens if Dante team does well? Then I guess I'm going to get yelled at by Karma, but we'll just have to find out. I only have Dante's stream up right now. If you find anyone else streaming this event, feel free to pass it my way and I'll add it to the multi. Operation is, funny enough, going to be a lot like how KOG ran last weekend. I didn't know how KOG was going to run, so I swear to you this is a pure coincidence. I try to be honest with you guys about that. It's 3 ammo caches, except 2 of the ammo caches they know about in the specific towns, both Blue 4 and Op 4. And then the third one, Op 4 knows where it is in here, Blue 4 does not. It's a massive search zone. In this op, I'm sorry to blind you, I have these going, but they're making a lot more smoke than I thought, so that was really just to try to throw air off, but their smoke effect is a lot higher, but that's fine. It'll at least distract air, but, I mean, I'm trying to also learn with their player base and whatnot. I got plenty of civilians around in the AO. I got camo nets down trying to cover stuff, but
Mortars 9.
there's a lot of interesting stuff around on this AO, so we'll just have to see how things go. AI count is very limited. I've got a few small camps around, some minor patrols. Basically the opposite of what you'll see in the 506 up. I am still on 3-1, yes.
Copy. Shift 3-3 when you get a chance. Our platoon net has changed. If you need me to tell you, I can.
Roger. I'll stay shifted on 3-3 unless you need me on something else. Break. Liru sign off 3-1. Warlord signing in on frequency 3-3, requesting radio check, over.
3-3, leave Charlie.
Roger out. Damn it, I was going to say to lick my Charlies. Oh well.
آماده دستورم. دارم میام. شنیدم.
Have a few guys on a walk.
منتظر دستورم. دریافت شد.
And we'll go from there. Actors are supposed to be both hostile and civilian. I let Dante sort who's doing what, so not every Op 4 marker is an enemy player that's going to try to kill him. Some of them are just going to purely try to be civilian. Rules for them are very similar to how the KOG event played. They've got very limited AT. They've got 1 IGLA for AA. I gave them a little bit more weapon choice in terms of they only have 1 or 2 scoped rifles to plink at them, but no grenades. However, if they loot Blue 4 bodies and the Blue 4 body has like 20 grenades, then it's fair game. So Op 4, if they were going to wipe, their best bet is to try to find a Blue 4 guy and steal stuff. What's up?
Is any of the Op 4 guys streaming?
1 is, yes.
Can you send me that or tell me that that handle?
DANTEEZY.
Oh, is it the guy from last time?
Yes, same guy.
Okay, alright, yeah, it's
Because he's the only guy I know that also does cat medical.
A couple questions.
Right.
A couple questions.
Yep.
Do we know where the door is on building 11 to enter? If not, that's completely fine too.
No, let me go check. Because you would, because again, interrogating the guy. Let's give you that intel. 1 second. Building 11, because these, it's playing off of the previous AO. Door is on the western side. All right, there's 2 doors, 1 on the western side in the middle, and 1 on the northern side on the northeastern corner.
Gotcha. And then the other building 11, where's that one?
Yeah. The northern, so that was for the southern one. The northern one, 1 second.
Facing, yeah.
Because they interrogated Mohammed after capturing him and then built it from there. Okay, so door. All right, so that door is on the northwestern side, and then there's a second small door. How would I word this? It's on the northernmost side, but it's facing east.
Okay.
It's that little side door thing. Yep.
Gotcha.
All right.
Thank you.
Any other questions, bro?
Nope, that's it.
All right.
Oh, is that
yep.
rock wall in the south? Is that You think that's destructible? Are we allowed to use explosives?
Oh, you're allowed to use explosive, broski. The rock wall where, if you don't mind me asking?
South building 11.
Oh, building 11 on the northern or southern village?
South village building 11. You know those 6-foot walls I asked you about?
Let me go try in a village in the north that's out of the AO, and I'll get back to you. Give me 30 seconds.
I mean, I just need to know for an ROE. If it's a failed breach, it's a failed breach. But I just know if we're allowed to. And it's from
You're allowed to try. If you want, if you give me 30 seconds, I can go test in another place I find it. All right, give me a second.
Awesome.
Because I get a failed breach is a failed breach, but at the same time, I like to, you know, a charge would blow up this type of wall. It's just, you know, the video game is a video game. Where'd Karma go?
Right here.
It won't breach. I just tested.
It won't breach. Okay,
yeah, sorry to say.
Problems. No, all good.
Right now. You guys are free to deploy whenever. They're ready.
Gotcha. It will take us
doing stuff.
15, maybe 20 minutes. So if they need to go,
yeah. All right, I'll let them know.
Whenever they got time.
All right. I got you, bro. Hey, Mac, how you doing? I'm assuming you chuckleheads have radio comms with each other. 15 to 20 minutes before they start stepping off. They're about to do their
15.
big brief. So you got plenty of time to prep.
I just broke my mouth a little. Anyway.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, God, that was fucking gross.
You think they'll
Great.
end up like arresting me over having morphine and shit in my pants?
I mean, they're not the police.
Fair enough. I also got some painkillers just because, you know, you never know when you need them.
Yeah, fucking painkillers are a big saver, honestly.
Alright, I'm gonna go back to Blue Force Corner. Getting more dudes added, bodies cleaned up, blah, blah, blah. And we should be good. How are y'all doing? So, a few things I want to talk about. Number one, massive 1 life or 2 life, depending on your perspective. PvP plus EOP tonight. Haven't done one of these in a hot second. If this goes well, we're going to see more. If not, we'll see. But again, next week I know it's going to be another PvE op. But again, we're going to have friendly forces as actors, similar to last week, but they're not going to be combat oriented. So I'll open the floor again to my community. The reason I didn't do it for this one.
Wings, once again, put on by Liru. There are some things that are going to be exciting about today's op, but let's get straight into it. So first off, this is a PvPvE operation. This is also
3 liters.
This is also going to be a daytime point raid cache clearance. Okay, so those are the kind of parameters we're rolling with right now. We're working out the infill platform and plan right now, but we'll get into that in the brief here. Okay, so first off, situation. Continuing off of the previous operation, we are going to be searching for 3 weapons caches that we learned by interrogating both of the HVIs that we managed to capture from our blocking position last op. So we brought those guys back, we interrogated them, and they disclosed the location of 3 weapons caches. We know the positions according to them, of course, so you know he might be feeding us inaccurate or old information. But building 11 POI1, building 11 at POI3, and then he says it's somewhere within this valley of POI2. So the objective here is going to be looking for those 3 caches in the center.
I heard him call mortars though,
valley.
so I think Blue 4 does have mortars.
The
but
terrain
I could be
here,
wrong.
you guys have played here quite a bit and been here for quite a bit now. It's going to be extremely mountainous with a decent amount of veg and some rural villages. Terrain is going to impact our visibility and mobility quite significantly, so make sure you guys are close to your squad leads and fire team leaders, and you are doing your best to secure the proper lanes of fire in order so that we can watch our sectors and make sure we have security throughout movement and at battle positions. The time and weather is going to be now. It is a morning hit. The skies are rather clear. It is slightly cloudy, but should not affect our visibility nor the visibility of the ISR platforms. Enemy forces, we're expecting around a platoon plus or minus within the valley here. It's unsure with the numbers that we've gotten from interrogation, as well as the fact that this valley here opens up to the greater city. So there's going to be some transport that is moving to and from the objectives. As I mentioned before, this is a PvPvE operation. There will be players on the opposite team that are adhering to the same kill COG rules that we always have. So if they kill you, they can grab your stuff. So don't get caught, don't get your stuff stolen. Same thing as we've always practiced. It should not really change how we operate. Same one life rules. If you die, you're pretty much done. There's no reinserts for this one. Okay, your body bag's coming out, and you can go watch in Liru stream and such. Okay. Continuing on here, they're armed with the standard insurgent small arms. There are some intel regarding a single Igla, as well as HMGs, as well as high explosive munitions in the form of potentially RPGs, SPGs, and otherwise. There are no indications that the OPFOR is utilizing any form of suicide vests, IEDs, or indirect fire platforms. The most likely
if this one
course
goes
of
well, that
action
will change
once we
in the
hit
future. Not for this
contact
op,
on
but future
target
ones.
is the enemy will attempt to defend their cache.
I'll go over the kill
as they
COG
call
rules.
in a QRF from surrounding elements. The most dangerous course of action is that we are lured into a near ambush on site and engaged point blank by multiple insurgents within buildings in a coordinated attempt to attrite us on target. So in any case, the most dangerous thing is going to be near ambush. Keep your eyes open, keep your eyes peeled. They have been known to be very well concealed in this area with the use of whether it's organic veg or camo nets in the region. Okay.
But if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. After I give it a brief.
Continuing
guys,
on
at least.
from the enemy, friendly forces out tonight is going to be KOG first platoon with attached air assets and SNOT, but no mortars out tonight.
Okay, no mortars.
We're going to be pretty much rolling a platoon minus out here tonight with the absences that we have, but we'll make it work. Moving in to the mission, KOG first platoon is going to be executing 3-point raids in order to find and destroy 3 caches in the central Klafgan region. I say again, KOG first platoon is going to be executing
1 second. Sorry.
3-point raids in order to find and destroy 3 insurgent caches within the center Klafgan region. Okay. As far as the commander's intent is to destroy these caches as a result of the intel gathered from the 2 individuals that we captured last operation, so that we can decrease the enemy's effective fighting capabilities within this valley. End states for this mission: friendly forces are accounted for back at the FOB. All enemy caches are destroyed, and enemy fighters in the vicinity of the caches are neutralized. Civilian, there are civilians.
I'm texting him on Discord right now. He somehow broke his damn car. There we go. Okay. Sometimes doing it the manual way will fix it.
Our skirter interdiction is coming from Kilo 1-1. And then primary EPW is going to be coming from containment, Kilo 1-2. Okay. As far as secondaries, secondary EPW is going to come from follow and assume. Secondary aim litter is going to be coming from containment. And then secondary squirter interdiction is from containment as well. All right. This is going to be a 5-phase point raid as usual. We have the infill. Our infill plan at this time. Let me stand. Hold on 1 second. Hey, 8-6.
Hey, NT buddy, thanks for the raid. What were you doing, broski? You're right in time if you want to watch some PvP plus E tonight.
Okay, Roger. All right, so we are going to be infilling HLZ Webley west of the objective. And flight will then continue additional false infills in the region post the initial infill. We are going to be standard load order into 2 CH-40 or MH-47s for a simultaneous fries infill on HLZ Webley. Once the birds are out of audible range, elements will then move through adjusted route blue. 1 minute here. Down into the central Clapham Valley. Snot will lead us out, followed by Kilo 1-1, Kilo 1-2, and then Kilo 1-3 in the rear. Guns will be attached. HQ will fall in behind Kilo 1-1. Element will make their way to the ORP, at which point we will establish the ORP out of sight and sound of the objective. The ORP may fall further back into this draw as we're coming down, depending on what Snot sees and how it looks vegetation-wise, descending the slope here. Gonna place a couple of checkpoint markers for pause reps, as well as CCP should we have to. Okay, so that's the infill. We'll establish at the ORP, and then we will determine if we need to do a leader's recon.
I don't know the answer to that because I don't know the difference.
We'll then come back to the ORP and release from the ORP. Battle positions tentative
60 blue 4 players on right now, and 8 or 9 op 4, if that helps. But the op 4 is supplied by me.
The intent
Karma
is
supplies
to lock down
the blue 4.
the northwestern approach.
Big,
east on the eastern
moderate
road.
to heavy, I would
Intends
say.
to watch the eastern MSR. Containment west and containment south. The intent is for you to clear 13 and 12 and establish containment in those buildings.
You won't see any of that tonight, but you'll see it later.
Is most likely going to be somewhere in the vicinity of 63. We mark that now. 63. And we will
send in go teams. All right, Brad, thanks for an
clear 63 with follow and assume in order to establish CP Black in 63. This is where HQ will be unless we're called forward, at which case 13 or 12, whichever is cleared first,
this one's only for KOG JCS.
CCP Blue. Okay?
Hey, Karma, real quick,
now, if Karma ever wants me to host a public mission for his community, feel free to ask him, and I'd be more than happy to do it.
Good catch, good catch, good catch. These should be 50s. Make
these days, I'm using like 10 missions a week.
All right,
God, today alone is 3 ops, and then the 4th one will be played on the ground.
Okay. Okay. So everyone sees adjusted 50 series. Okay.
Pretty heavy.
Once
Definitely a
all
platoon
battle
size
positions are established, I'll get the ISO set, containment set, and we'll release
Map is
assault
Clafcat.
from CP Black.
One of my personal favorites.
The objective and hitting Whiteside Building 11. One thing I will say is all entries into this 10 series compound should be done from the eastern entrance. Okay, so I'll mark a white line here so you guys know to use this. Do not use the northern entrance. Do not use the northern entrance. Okay, so use the eastern entrance to get into the compound. Clear 12. So 12 will most likely be, I'll mark it now just so that there's no confusion, CCP Blue. And then they'll clear 13 and we'll set up assaults to take down Building 11. A reminder, there are civilians. You will be using PB flashbangs on clearance. Frags only if all else fails and you have PID.
Their 9 banes don't work against players. So
okay.
If any of the op 4 guys get breached, you're going to see some really funny role playing of people getting 9 baned.
Any questions on phase 1? Okay, after phase 1 is complete and I get those key calls, I will then make the key call assault your release.
Mac, I agree with you, but this is also how they play. And
make their way through the east side of the 10
well,
series.
they have a platoon of people here, so clearly people like it. So
Kilo 1-3, you will clear Building 11,
everyone, though.
make the jackpot or dry hole.
99.9% of people that will ask. There's one person I won't do anything for
along
them.
the way from every element. Once I get those 2 calls, we will then transition to post assaults. During this phase, all other elements hold their established battle positions. Once we make this post assault call, containment will face out to watch these doors and these entries, and then we will collapse any additional special teams to where they need to go, and address back clearance and SSE in Building 11 with Kilo 1.
So I'll tune back into the brief. I just want to show you some of the assets they have on tonight. We've got some of these bad boys. We've got these. these, and then Zeus also spawned in a few Tucanos as well. So big arsenal here. Drone is already going out in the AO and is going to start doing recon. Op4 has also already started deploying, and once again, this Chucklehead has somehow broken his Vic. I swear to God, this AI is a horrible driver. How's the Southern driver? He's still... No, he also broke his Vic. Where did he... I swear to God, the AI can't freaking drive, but that's fine. Op4 players are supplied by Dante and his group. The reason I didn't supply any from my group this time around is because they're getting into, when I say they, I mean KOG, is getting into more and more advanced versions of KAT Medical, and that is something that I showed Dante the settings, and he's like, oh, okay, this is advanced even for me. So that's why I've been kind of holding on all of that. Civilians, I guess, already got partially spooked. I'm going to order them back into their AOs here. I got some out on random walks here. But I think it's also because they're partially aggro, and then some are running out there. How do I stay motivated to do Zeus when you're already doing it so much? I don't know. I've always had a fascination with the Zeus interface because I've also always had a fascination just how people do things, and I find it interesting to watch a group of players play the same area or play something with slightly tweaked settings, and then they'll do it vastly different. Just all depending on human interaction, so I guess that's just some weird little autistic thing about me personally, but it's just something that I've always liked doing, Almighty, but I guess I am the outlier because I'm the only major YouTuber and Twitch streamer that exclusively does Zeusing. So, I'm happy to do it. Do I Zeus for a lot of groups? Right now, I Zeus for myself, KOG, which you see right here, once in a blue moon for the 5th OML, every week for POG, bi-weekly for the 506, which is just straight 1-4's units, and then other groups that commission me that can either be once every week to... it's in weird bursts. Like, it'll be like 3 or 4 for 2 to 3 weeks and then nothing, or, you know, something weekly for a while. So it's anywhere from, I guess, a month, 5 to 10 different groups on average. That's just how it is.
We'll most likely do a leaders huddle prior to POI 3 so that we can form up for the
Also, for this op, you're going to see less AI from me because I'm putting more of a focus on the player interaction here.
Yeah, I have a question.
Send it.
So for prep for exfil, do you want us to attach when we're this close to the phase line? Like, I feel like it would make more sense to...
Let me see. This is
probably
200
leave west
meters
up there to cover that.
Collapse all the
area.
guns. We'll handle it. Remember, we're still doing that leaders huddle in that post assault, but no matter what on the prep for exfil, you're going to collapse.
They're going to be doing these 2 villages in this area in the middle.
Walk out
so this is going to be a 2 to 3 hour operation knowing them.
Detach immediately from the 10 series after you collapse all guns and get organized from the 10 series to SBF 1.
So I'll show you guys a few things in a second.
Okay. It's not.
But I opted to take the things that I was going to use to mess with them and give it to the players
POI
instead.
1, I need you on BP East, and then for POI 2 clearance, I need you on SBF positions.
Let's see if I can. Did you crash it again? I mean, how? How are you that bad?
دارم میام دریافت شد انجام میدم دارم میام فهمیدم
I don't get why this guy is so dumb, but
دریافت شد
whatever.
انجام میدم شنیدم دارم میام شنیدم دارم میام شنیدم شنیدم
Scared to give him this route because I'm worried he's just gonna like be dumb because he's already crashed his car like 3 times.
فهمیدم دارم میام دارم میام
All right. Let's see. Did any of the toys I gave them stay back? All right, so they're keeping them in reserve. If any of you saw a few days ago when I was making some very specific weapons to kind of counter air's ability to see everything from the sky, we made a few little fun things. I'm unfortunately going to have to tell you guys, though, that the ZU-23 car didn't make it. That got taken out because it's I mean, it's a giant autocannon, and when you aim it like that, it means it's probably going to be used on infantry, therefore it's going to be a mess. So, you know. Like I was saying in that mission dev from a few days ago, the 2019-2020 era wee-woo of making coin ops is going to bleed in tonight.
Final questions or needed clarifications?
Yes, I fixed the I fixed all the camo nets so they're no longer infrared.
I will. I'll die. I'll die.
Oh yeah, kill KOG. There were like 5 or 6 NDs that kept giving their position away, and Karma nearly had an aneurysm. It was pretty funny to watch.
85. It's just 85 across the board. It's too much for people to remember. It's 85 all the time. Okay.
85. All right.
Yes, huh?
They do have one Igla with 1 round. NDs, basically people accidentally fired their guns off. I forget the official specific term for what ND is, but yeah.
Black, if we have not cleared blue yet, once we clear blue,
negligent discharge, that's it, yep.
Blue.
Thank you.
Civilians on target, we are leaving them cuffed. Their friends can untie them, but we're just gonna leave them cuffed in the wash site, and they can sort themselves out when we leave.
There's gonna be some funny roleplay with that.
Okay. Any other questions?
Take the Yankees.
Okay, fantastic. 9 and 7. Right. Go ahead and figure out which one's 5-1, 5-2. I'll meet you guys at TV behind the door.
Whenever a few months after the Red Wings incident was, which was either 2003 or 2005, somewhere in that era, I'm gonna be honest, I don't 100% remember. But again, the whole arc here is basically, what if Red Wings wasn't a total Charlie Foxtrot and they were able to get all the phases done? So after this, next week will be the final phase, in which we'll see the Op 4 players here actually be a humanitarian force. And then I'm going to do a one-off Benghazi raid, which is going to be similar to the Op from 2 weeks ago. Or I guess 3 weeks ago, because we were still doing bi-weekly at that point. Where there will be a friendly allied force, and then this will be the timeline of what if Hillary wasn't such a snake and actually sent the U.S. to go bail Benghazi out with the QRF platoon. But I'm going to let my political beliefs not bleed into my stream. Oh, that's funny. They knocked out some of the wall right here. And then after that, there's a few things on the table. I'm probably going to do a one-off tunnel op, which we're going to see that tunnel actually used in 3 different communities. It's going to be used in the 506, it's going to be used for Karmakut's KOG, and it's going to be used in one of my personal missions, mainly as a test piece first. But yeah, after that, I'm going to probably come up with a new campaign, so we'll see how things go. Well, the response was supposed to be bigger, and the people that went in... I don't want to have this conversation. I'm going to be pissy about it all night at that point. Our urban big city CQC, that's what the Benghazi mission's going to be. And I'm probably going to bring back not Kobvatin, that's the northern fjord map. Oh, Korshimar, I think is what that one is, because we ran something similar a while ago, but with a smaller player base back in TSB, I want to say 9 or 10 months ago. But yeah. I'm gonna have to reset some of the Civ AI here. This is Klafgan.
All set up.
Oh, why is the map... My bad. The previous mission I was playing was on Thirsk Winter, and for whatever reason, the command didn't update. Because sometimes when I update them, looks like if every other command's working fine, but that one didn't update properly. Yeah, obviously this isn't a winter map. Is that car actually driving in properly? That's a start. All right. I'm basically spectating and controlling some of the minor groups of AI, but I also am going to be watching, more or less. You got this guy just up here role-playing, which is quite funny. Is everyone going to ask? Again, it's Klafgan. It is a, I believe, Arma 2 modded map that they ported over to Arma 3. But back with Arma 2 Ace, fun fact, Ace had features where they would do a lot more work with the helicopters in the game. So first off, if you walked into the rotor blades, it would kill you. But because Klafgan is so high up in altitude in some spots, if you went up too high with the helicopter, it would actually be harder for you to climb altitude because the air gets thinner and thinner up the mountain. So there's less wind it can essentially push down. I forget the exact physics of it, but that's a cool feature that was in Arma 2 Ace that they simulated on this map that they didn't really do with Arma 3 Ace. But yeah, no, this is the Arma 3 ported one with a signature fix because the original one was having some keying issues to not work in multiplayer settings. But Zeusing is pretty much, yeah, if you know Dungeons & Dragons, I'm the DM for this particular scenario. Yeah, go ahead, White Shark. My DMs are always open. I have an open door policy. I don't really mind. Also, this, I don't think, so this is going to be my last Zeus stream till next, I want to say Friday or Saturday, because I'm going to be taking the rest of the week off, or next week off, to drive down to Alabama and go hog hunting. But there might be 1 or 2 more streams after this one, such as I'll be making the 4th KOG operation up north, and maybe doing some other mission file stuff, or maybe some Dark Tide. I at least want to do 1 more VOD, because I want to try to have 2 scheduled VODs for every day coming out, but here's these guys boarding.
He had to, like, step away, I think.
Please don't enter my state.
1 Mike, 3 Jim Bob, 4 Dexter, 5 Fitz.
I have to, though, because that's the state my father is born in.
8 Goon, 9 Virus,
Warlord Romeo.
11 Provoke.
Is it hard being a good Zeus?
13 Griff, 14
It can be daunting
Bacon,
at first, but I
15
don't really find it that difficult. But then again, that's like asking Taylor Swift if singing is hard. Everyone's going to have their own personal bias with it, but they're counting people in as they go into the chopper. Really, it's more of a babysitting job and a social skill. You just have to make sure everyone has a good time in your operation, be able to take feedback. So as long as you can do that, then you'll be fine. Don't take anything personally either. It's just a video game after all. And, you know, value their fun and enjoyment above your own. And eventually when you get to a certain skill level, you'll be able to enjoy pretty much anything. Why? I think they're scouting these positions out. I'm not the only person that has Zeus. Some of them have Zeus for debug reasons. Some of them have Zeus for camera work reasons. But no one metagames. If they did, then I'd have to have a 15-minute stream delay, because this is technically PvP, similar to KOG. However, the next time I cover KOG, that's going to be shrinking down. Because of how we're going to rebalance it. Do I get paid? Depends where I'm Zeusing, but yes, some people pay me, because I can't fit them into my schedule otherwise, because I'm too busy with other stuff.
18 plus 23, acknowledged.
But if you're good at something, never do it for free. You know what I mean?
Titan, man your aircraft.
But yeah, as Macaroon was talking about earlier, saying that this was a little too much for him in terms of complexity, every community in Arma 3 does things differently. Karmakut wants to do his things hyper-realism focused. And I always love comparing Karmakut's group to the Black Templar, Arma 3, Warhammer 40k Space Marine unit, because they are the polar opposite of this community, where these guys are super tactical, slow-paced, milsim to the extreme. Black Templars, it's literally 50 to 60 Space Marines that are practically unkillable. I can throw the entire server at them, and it'll barely scratch them. And even if it does, they come back very quickly. So it's those two opposites of the extreme that I really, really like Zeusing for. But even then, I do like always Zeusing with large player bases. Just, again, seeing how they handle things. Because when you have a large player base that blitzes through everything, you have to constantly be on your toes and practically spam whatever you can at them. With a large player base that does things slowly, but they limit you as a Zeus in what you can send, you have to start getting very methodical and tactical with what you do. Setting up fake areas to try to throw off their thermal vision, for example. Getting creative with your assets and trying to hide things from their superior advantages in a way that, you know, an insurgency would to try to fake them out. There's a lot of creative ways to get around America's technology. I mean, that's why in the Middle East they invented the IED. That's technically an incorrect statement. IEDs have existed for, you know, since the beginning of gunpowder, but my point is the Middle Easterns kind of formalized it, if you know what I mean. You gotta show that level of ingenuity is what I'm trying to get at. And the only way I'm gonna be able to get better as a Zeus to every community I could possibly encounter is if I keep working with groups like these. Guerrilla warfare, essentially, yeah. I butchered that explanation, but... Oh, and I get that, Mac Marine, but again, that's how they like to do it, because they're trying to closely simulate how you would do it in the real world, which again, it's tough to do because this is a video game, but that's how they want to do it, so that's how we'll go for it. That is a Takano. And I'm not sure we're going to see it in the field, but we might. We could see the choppers when they come back take one of those. You know, I'm also a little interested here, because I don't see any Apache support at all. Huh. OPFOR might be handed a boon here. How much do I get paid? It depends. My rate fluctuates based off of the day and based off of how busy I am that month. If you want to see current rates, you can DM me. Yeah, I think that's all I'll say about that. Because I'm not gonna hustle for myself on a stream. Plus, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I want to take any additional work right now, because I'm going to be gone for a week, and then I'm going to have to, you know, play catch-up for a week, and then I need to get back into MCO, I need to get back in a bunch of other projects, open up some new things with a few new, well, not new places, but places that, you know, want to do more stuff with me, like, CDLC, Sog Prairie Fire, they want to do more stuff with me, and then there's something else going on that I have to have time for, because, I can't say much about it at the moment. Give me a month, and I can. But, you know, we'll get there when we get there. If you've been with me for a while, you can take the hint. But for those of you that are new, just know that I work with a lot of people doing a lot of things. And it gets very busy. Because every mission file I make takes anywhere from 1 to 5, even up to 10 hours of dev. But at least I have a few people to work under me now.
I do have a gun.
Oh, listen.
So OPFOR, you got them messing around over here. I think they're, after they do a bunch of false LZs, they're going to send the pilots back and grab Apaches. Maybe some planes as well, but we'll see.
I'm assuming at some point we're all just going to fucking scatter and go grab shit.
Yeah.
We're like, oh!
As soon as we get that, guys, I hear an Apache, it's like, oh fuck!
I swear to God, if my fucking gun despawns, I'm going to be pissed.
Don't let it
Just
despawn.
finishing the load-ins right now.
Playing with special forces. That's fair, Mac.
How many people do they even have?
It's a nice mustache.
That's fair.
آماده دستورم.
They have about 50 to 60. Air assets are a little lighter today, but not impossible. And game is afoot, by the way.
Oh, sweet, we're
Say
on.
less.
Scatter!
All right, village elder, we will do you proud.
No, you know what sucks though? You know what really sucks though as a dev? The fires did not give that much smoke, so me trying to make fake thermal signatures under a BMP to potentially bait air to shoot it, instead I got a giant fire under it. So I have no idea how air is going to take that, but my little fake, my fake kill house over there too also has way too much smoke coming out, but that's all right. We experiment, right? I better see on your second life some of those vehicles get taken out from the north, though. I want to see the secret Dishka. All right, good luck, guys.
Don't worry, I have plans.
All right. Blue 4 is on their way. Any other questions, comments, concerns, feel free to post them to me. Messaging a few things in DMs. Oh, Sharky, that's like 4 paragraphs, buddy, but I'll read it later. And then Dante just sent me a message from 10 minutes ago saying this is going so terribly well, which means his guys are pumped, which is good, because I'm going to be honest, 50-50, they're going to get murdered by air support. If not an Apache escorting, then definitely a drone watching them. I'm going to occasionally go into my thermal vision just to see if it starts lasing stuff, but we'll see how that goes. How good is server performance during kill KOG? So because we keep the AI to a minimum, usually they don't want me having more than 60 AI down in the AO at once. It's actually quite good. Beyond that, yeah, no, I mean, if we were to take a look. So, we have, let me tab out here. Let me tab out, because I'm going to flex this. 1 second. There are currently about 60 people on the server right now. So that is a little low, because usually it's like high 50s for kill KOG. But again, that probably explains why air is running so low. And that drop was me tabbing back in. But about 50 plus frames right now for about, 60 players is pretty damn good. But here's the thing. Arma actually performs really well these days because we have the 64-bit executable. We have a bunch of server and performance tweaks that have happened since 2016 when I started. I can tell you that a version of this game from 2016 and today's version in the day and age is vastly different. But the biggest sources of lag for Arma 3 are as follows: Shadows. Shadows is the worst thing to murder FPS. And if you don't believe me, go into a jungle village, throw 10 flares in the air, and watch your frames tank. Drop a single napalm grenade in a Vietnam mission at night. Your frames will tank. Shadows, I don't know why, but lighting effects just murder performance. Your second source is particle effects, aka having so many smoke effects out at once, which is why for some servers you'll see if too many smoke grenades are thrown. 1 second. What's up?
Hey, I had to go AFK and they just joined in. Is there any way we can get a teleport?
Yeah, do they know what bird they need to get in? Also, for both of these guys?
Likely 5-2.
We're all in one
Yes,
phase,
right.
so 5-2.
Yeah, 5-2 for both Evan and Leet here.
And Smitty.
All of us, yeah.
Okay, all three. Gotcha. Do you know? Actually, no. They'd be in the second bird, I think. So let me get you all in standby.
Yeah.
All right. All right. All right. Smitty, Evan, and L3.
Yeah, likely.
Warlord, Romeo, message.
If this is about the 3 inserts, I'm getting them in now. Over.
Warlord, Romeo, got you 2x5. You tracking?
Romeo, this is Warlord. Send message over.
Warlord, Romeo, be advised we got 3 packs currently at Bob, upon land.
Affirm. Already working on that. Over.
No copy.
Oh, they broke formation. Oh, God. Romeo, this is Warlord. All packs are in the bird. Over.
Warlord Romeo, good copy.
All right. Two things I need to do. One, teleport myself back. Two, set up a T4 tower. And this basically extends my range to infinity on the map so I can hear them over the mountains. This is PvP plus E. What that means, it's player versus player plus environment, which means Op4 have both players and AI working with them. But otherwise, as I was saying, if you see a bunch of smoke grenades get thrown, sometimes there will be a maximum particle limit on the server to basically stop the server from dying from too many particle effects. So you might just see only like a little pathetic billow of smoke come up that maybe comes up to someone's waist and then start disappearing. AI settings, that is a good question because I haven't set them yet. And then B is also a thermal toggle. Usually with player bases like these, considering forces, we're going to do a 20% spread, and I'm going to set 90% to everything else. What's my prediction for this op? It's either going to go really, really horribly, or it's going to go really, really well. I don't think there's going to be anything in between, but hey, I've been wrong before. 50-50 that we're actually going to see the Igla shoot something down, so we'll see. Because I was able last week to literally get an RPG gunner under a chopper, but because it was pitch black, I missed the shot. But Karma thought that was also kind of funny that I was able to do that, because it's not like I spawn him right under there. No, that'd be cheat. No, he literally walked up the hill, got right under an Apache, and I just whiffed the shot, because literally as I lined up, he noticed I was down there and started pulling off last second. Oh, but I would have gotten him otherwise. And then if anyone remembers the op prior, which was 2 weeks prior, so 3 weeks ago, I did put an RPG in a Chinook, and we almost actually simulated what happened with the real Red Wings, but thankfully no one boarded yet. Can you continue the thing that affects frames? Yes. I was about to get to that. I was just reading chat. So, again, to refresh, top one is shadows. Second one is particle effects. Third one is AI pathfinding. It's, believe it or not, the amount of AI doesn't actually matter that much. It does to a lesser extent, specifically having all these individual symbols. But if you have all these individual symbols actively walking around like this, especially in an urban or a jungle map where it's difficult for them to process proper pathfinding, that's when they actually start to tank performance. You can actually have like 150 to 300 AI garrisoned on a map not moving. You can even lock them in place with disabling pathing or move toggles. Fun fact about that, for pathing, it basically stops them from walking, but they can still spin around and move their feet in a full 360, which is why I usually use that one. However, if I'm using a tunnel, then I disable their move, because the enemy can only come from one way, so I can lock them into not even moving their feet, so they can only face their gun forward 45 degrees to the left or 45 degrees to the right, aka giving them a forward arc of fire. But pathfinding is the third biggest thing. Fourth biggest thing, for some weird reason, is vehicles. If you have an excessive amount of vehicles down, it just murks your server for some weird reason. Best way to get around that is to either use static vehicle wrecks or set some of these vehicles to simulation disabled and then lock them, because if your player base gets into a simulation disabled Vic, they're going to get stuck in there. You can also set a few different things to disable their damage, so they don't process damage values on the Vic, because that also takes up performance and calculation. But otherwise, that's fine. Fifth biggest source of lag are these little shits. Now, the Arma 2 ported rocks are fine, but the Arma 3 rocks, for whatever reason, have super, super high amounts of polygons on them. And assets that have high amounts of polygons in Armor 3, for whatever reason, will murk your frames. That's why any tunnel style operation from the early to mid point of this game, even nowadays, for Zeus's that don't know, if you make a tunnel with Armor 3 rocks, people are going to lose their frames because of just the sheer amount of polygons that those rock textures have. The best way to make tunnels is to utilize either cup rocks or cup dirt textures or anything that gives you a big fat dirt texture. And then you just make a tunnel out of it. Or you use specialized tunnel assets from a mod because what it renders in for you is just the tunnel piece and not all these, you know, polygons in the rock itself. Those are your 5 biggest drains on frames. If you can manage those 5, your server's going to perform really well. Just remember, anything in the interface or anything in the mission, just toggle it, you know, if it's not important. Disable its simulation, disable its damage. Just remember, disabling simulation on stuff, if it has ladders or things you can interact with like doors, if you disable the simulation, sometimes it breaks your ability to use those ladders or doors. So don't do it on buildings or, you know, certain fortifications that have a ladder that let you climb to the 2nd story. Alright, player base is down. Choppers are now going to go out and do a bunch of false LZs, which is why you see all these other positions here, and in the attempt to basically throw off these units over here. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. That collection of knowledge is literally from 1 Arma 3 Bohemia admin, 2 prominent Arma 3 modders, my own experience, members of the SOG Prairie Fire development team, and a few other YouTubers.
Warlord Romeo message.
1 second. Romeo, this is Warlord, send message. Over.
Warlord, can we get a delete on this body bag on my mark? I can ping if need.
Roger, eyes on, standby.
Copy.
Should be done. See, now he can hear me because I have the thingamajig on. That invisible T-Far tower. Need heal? Oh gosh, I was really far out. Top 4's not actually going to be able to read this because this is just side chat, so we'll see how that goes. Why'd I have that tower last stop? Which tower? You mean the T-Far tower, this? It just extends my radio range to infinite across the map. Klafgan is a very mountainous and hilly map, so T-Far is going to intercept my radio comms over the terrain, which is why he reported that he could only hear me 2x5 when he was in the chopper, which meant he could barely make out parts of what I was saying. 5x5 means he hears me loud and clear. 4x5 means I can hear you. It's a little choppy, but I understand what you're saying. 3x5 is you're very choppy, but I can make sense of what you're trying to get at. 2x5 is I can't make sense of what you're saying. And then 1x5 is literally brah, 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 brah. What's a possibility of getting the mission file? Normally I don't mind giving my mission files out, but because this is a KOG file and it utilizes a bunch of stuff from KOG itself, if you want any of my KOG mission files, you're going to have to ask Karmakut. Because he is the host, I am the guest. That rule applies to any community where I work in, like SOG Prairie Fire, when they had me come in and do the 1.3 update op. They were the hosts, I was the guest. Anything that they sent me regarding, you know, what they wanted me to do, and if they send me custom scripts or give me a custom way to do things, it's technically their stuff. So, because there's stuff built into this mission file, I don't want to hand that out without their permission. So you're going to have to ask them, and if they give you the go-ahead, then by all means, I don't mind handing you anything. Because in my opinion, the more mission makers and Zeuses we have in this community, the better. So those AI are going into panic mode because they're registering OPT4 units here and freaking out over them. So NDAs are different. NDAs is literally I can't give you anything. I can't even talk about it on stream. Now, once in a while, I will sometimes leak something on accident. Or if we're streaming FNF, for example, and I have Rob, aka Egg Beast, the, you know, leader of the CDLC, for SOG Prairie Fire, and we get super drunk and he decides to leak things, then by all means, because he's the one that makes us write the thingamajigs. 1 second. Hey, Pelican, you good for a TP in?
Yeah, go.
All right.
Yeah.
Stop smoking, Bristol.
Cool. I see that he's attached to FU, so I'm basically putting him up there. So, Deformer is interesting. If anyone has an issue with Deformer, what I would recommend you do is make sure it was running properly server-side, because the only times I've actually seen it lag is when it wasn't running server-side properly. I love that they're doing these false landings. That's going to throw these guys off so damn hard. The one issue I had with Deformer was a few months ago when I was commissioned to do an official SOG Prairie Fire CDLC op. We did a playoff of the Aisha Valley. I literally deformed the entire northern side of the Aisha Valley to make the terrain exactly like this one operation. I don't remember it off the top of my head because I do so many operations a week I forget them. But I did so much deformer work that if you went on top of some of the deformed areas, which thankfully they didn't, it was just for show, the ground disappeared. You could still walk on it, but the physical texture of the ground just de-rendered for some weird reason. But beyond that, and I want to say the 10 or 15 ops I've done deformer work on, I've never had a lag issue with it on the outside of when we did testing and there was a lag issue. It was because it wasn't loaded properly on the server. Deformer, I don't know why. There was a rumor going around or someone was saying it was only a client-side plugin. You didn't need it server-side. That's a lie. You need it on the server. But we used Deformer in the first Karmakut mission I did. We did some Deformer work on. That operation I mentioned earlier, the SOG one we did Deformer on. Not Kill KOG. Splendid Squad 2. We did a massive amount of Deformer work on. No issues. So I use Deformer for all my major projects. But otherwise, I try to work with the terrain I have, because Deformer, it does take a little while. But that's a good question. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to bring them up. And if there's anything that I missed in chat, feel free to bring it up as well. What is Doc telling me? Ah, okay. I'm on a Discord channel with all the OPT4 guys because I don't have a direct line of communication with them like I do with Romeo for debug reinserts. So I'm just occasionally checking back here. I try to be on top of any reinserts or tech inserts I need to get in. Tech insert is basically someone crashes out and you got to teleport them back in. Could be the armor rocks because I use a lot of it. Yeah, no, it's probably the armor rocks. And I hate that about them, but, you know, you're kind of stuck with that. Regarding the PBO, we don't have anything really fancy code-wise. The mission file should be fair game. Okay, Water. I mean, the reason I brought that up was because I noticed that there were a few SQFs in there, and I didn't know if you guys wanted those to be public. Because I also recently asked Karma if I could take that flashlight code out from one of your PBOs and use it in my own stuff, and he gave me the green light, and we ran a test stop with it the other day. Because I would love to be able to rescript flashlights properly. I tried putting it in a description extension file, and it was just too unreliable, so I had to make my own little PBO mod out of it, but righto. It's just, you know, you wouldn't want to work for someone and then they have all this fancy stuff in there and they're like, oh, I can just use this willy-nilly. No, you want to ask for permission first, you know, don't be a dick. So, you know. Just ask. It would be so much nicer if people just asked. But that's just me. What's the meaning of life and the universe and everything? 42. That's right under there, too. Someone's got it. It's 42. If you know Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you know. I'm gonna check my AI to see if they broke their cars, and sure enough, I'm willing to bet they did. What's weird is I can't find this one AI that's supposed to be driving around on the south right here. See, it's funny, though, because looking at it from this POV, you honestly can't tell who the players or AI are. Again, I'm supposed to be having civilian cars driving around, but it's just not working for it. So I'll just put them in dynamically later. But yeah, to the people that asked, I did fix the camo net issue. I don't know why, but Pook's camo nets were glowing like Christmas trees in this thermal vision. So I had to replace them all with vanilla and cup ones. But that got it fixed. KOG stuff's more in depth, but the KOG code is a glorified arsenal. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, it was funny when we were testing, because I'm like, all right, everything looks good, and then I'm like, what if we use their custom Better IR mod? Oh, everything's glowing like a damn Christmas tree.
Let's give him a warm welcome, shall we?
But it's funny, because I was talking to my father about it, because I rarely get to see him, but I mentioned it, and he was in the Air Force. He worked on a bunch of black box projects back in the day, stealth bomber, Maverick missile, because he was a chemistry major. But I digress. He told me while he was in around the Mojave, basically at Nelson, and they were testing out the Javelin. They found that when they were trying to acquire lock-ons with the Javelin, it would get so hot in the desert that the bushes would glow on thermals. But the missile had an issue trying to lock on target, and instead it might lock onto the hot bush next to it. So I was thinking that would be really funny if I found a way, even though I don't think these guys use javelins, but if they were to use any, like Hellfires, for example, or anything that used thermal lock-on, if I could potentially make dummy targets based off of that logic. It'd be pretty funny. Now, would an insurgent know to utilize that exploit from someone that worked on now declassified projects? Probably not, but again, for my own interest.
Oh, bad thing.
No, you're good. You ready to go?
I am, thank you.
Let me try getting you back in, broski.
Yeah, I don't know what happened where I got put in the Chinook. I could not hit the repel option.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, TPing and VIX isn't always 100%, but they're on the ground, so this should work now.
Going on bearing 120. You should see me as soon as you go back over the top to the downhill.
Alright, so they're coming down the valley. Gotta keep me hydrated. I appreciate it. Yeah, so in the future, because I'm working with you guys weekly now, I might, as a challenge one day in a few months, say that the insurgents they began the OCAP too. Nice. Usually they do that when they step off, but I guess someone forgot, but that's okay. I might say the insurgents might raid something and get a few key items. I might turn that into a PvP up as well, maybe to throw you off, like giving them the secondary little... Not the flashlight, but the thing that makes a laser, just to throw you guys off, or maybe make some fake lassos or whatnot. But, again, what I work with Karma is all similar to how I've seen KOG work, in the sense that it's all very experimental, and we're just kind of building on it as we go. Yes, the ISLID, that's it. So, it'll take us a few months to get everything calibrated, because I thought we had it down, but then he wanted to add Cat Medical, so that's why I've had to specialize with this specific group of Op4 players, because I know they work with Cat Medical. So it's just been, you know, balancing everything out with that. BL, if you want to join KOG, I'm sure there's a few people in here that can message you the Discord information, because I actually don't know the process. And I like to advertise the groups I'm in and have the option, but at the same time, the guys that come to this operation are usually picked out. They're not the pubby players you see go on the Liberation server that Karmakut advertises, so I don't want to do any mis-advertising, if that makes any sense. Oh, you mean for Op4? Okay, so these guys I handpick, but in this case I handpicked Dante to handpick them, and again, the main reason I haven't let my guys in my Discord like I've said I would come in and play is because, again, they added Cat Medical, which is a very advanced medical system that is well beyond what we do, and it's not a simple version of it either. Again, I showed it to Dante, and he was like, okay, this is advanced even for us. So we're kind of, I'm waiting for Karma to stabilize what he wants to do with Cat Medical, and then Dante's going to get me a training document, and then I can then give that to everyone in my community, and then I can start ferrying you guys in more. But because of the scope creep of Cat Medical, it's delayed me getting you guys in. So you just got to be patient with me. But we did start going weekly now, so that's going to help speed up the process. Well, it's also a personal choice of how I conduct operations within my community compared to another person that'll conduct operations in their community. But at the same time, I don't want to throw a bunch of people that trust me as a Zeus to then go into an operation and then not know how to do anything, because I feel like I screw you guys over at that case. So that's also why if anyone's ever going to advertise things in my Discord for their operations, I am physically going over to play it, or I trust them 120%, such as Krosk with Project Tension when he starts that up again. Just because I've been to those operations, I know what the quality is going to be. Because anything that I feel like I advertise in my Discord, I am putting my name behind. And in YouTube and Twitch and, you know, social media and whatnot, your reputation is everything. And I'd like to have that level of integrity. When's the next Pain for Pain? I think October? It's in every 6 months. So the last one was, what, March? So April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, September, October. I'd appreciate that, Water. I would appreciate that. Yeah, exactly. The Liru seal of approval. But it's also because in the past, I have advertised some people's events, and then through random last-minute circumstances, I got the plug pulled on me. I wasn't able to go, and then I'd hear from them how bad it was, and I'd feel so bad for bringing them to that because, you know, I feel like that damages trust. So we'll see how things go. Yeah, that is tough to say, too, because KOG, I mean, we're Zeusing right now, and it's 9 p.m. for me, but it's 6 p.m. for him because he's over in Pacific Standard Time, which is the west coast of the U.S., so a European group of KOG would literally be like the opposite time zone for him, so I'm not sure about that, but hey, maybe one of his guys can answer. But again, his Liberation server is open 24/7. Am I excited for the new Ahsoka show? I'll be honest, I'm pretty average on, I'm a fan of almost every sci-fi genre out there, but after seeing what Disney Star Wars has done to every other show, and what they did to Mandalorian Season 3, I'm not optimistic. We'll see. Yeah. Do I have a mod on chat right now that can do that for me, or can I go and do that real quick? Let's see if they come out. Yeah, Andor was the one great one out of, what, like 6 or 7 duds? Because, you know, a Ron clock is still right twice a day, but, you know, we'll wait and see. I got a few other people that like Star Wars more than me. They'll watch it first. They'll rant to me about it. Then we'll see. Yeah, exactly what DM Phobia said. All right, so Blue 4, again, taking their slow approach. That's what I also like about KOG, is we have a bit of a slow burn, but it allows me a lot of time to interact with you guys. Killingao, if you know how to edit the multi-command, someone has a POV from the KOG POV, and the only other POV I have in the multi is Dante's, who's part of the Op4 element. Karma has given me permission to put anyone that's streaming under him in the multi, because usually I wouldn't, but because I have that blanket permission. MCO will be sometime later next month. We were supposed to start it earlier, but then I had a week where I had to work on 14 mission files, and I had a following week to run 14 mission files, and then this past week has been 10 mission files and basically cramming for my trip for next week and prepping all the VODs to be gone for a week and yada-da. On average, I usually make 5 mission files, so that's been bumped to 6 now because KOG's going weekly. So it was on average 5 to 7, now it's 6 to 7, but yeah. When I take it above, usually when I take it above 8 mission files a week, that's when I consider myself busy, so, well. Next meme op. I don't think I have any planned at the moment, actually, because I got to finish up the last ship. A little lag spike there. Don't know what that was about. I got to work on Undead Assault 3. There's a patch of SCP ups I got to do. There's some Vietnam ops I got to do. There's some other stuff that I can't talk about that I got to work on. It's just, there's a lot on my plate, so when it evens out a bit more, then we'll look into doing another few meme ops, but yeah, you know, we'll see when we get there. Lieutenant Dan's on point. You still got this guy looking around. So I think now they've set this position up as a FARP. And they're going to get a Super Tucano out. Interesting choice. I think they've also decided on that because they're fearful of the Igla and they don't know where it's going to be, so they can't hover a chopper around. So they've adapted by taking the Tucano out. Interesting that they didn't go for A10s like I thought they would, but yeah, they can always change it up. Always like seeing player bases try new tactics anyhow. By the time you fix my mods, get in and go into the air. Yeah, KOG does, again, they do everything realistically. So they're going to be doing far LZs, giving air plenty of time to recon out the AO. Toyota War is a yearly thing. Next one will probably be around also October or November, or I might do it earlier. We'll see. But yeah, no, the Super Tucano, I would imagine seeing it in this day and age because over the past few years, the U.S. Army, or I guess U.S. military, focused on the Army, has been trying to find a better solution than A-10s in terms of logistics costs to have a light aircraft to do sorties with and whatnot, but for 2003, 2005-esque, it's an interesting choice because that's when you'd be having the A-10s and American firepower and air superiority, so I'll take it. So Op4 have 2 lives each, Blue 4 have 1. And the balancing idea behind Op4 having 2 was I expected them all to die to the Apaches at least once, but there's not going to be an Apache tonight. So, again, it's a secret hidden boon for Op4, but we'll see. Yeah, maybe the Super Tucano's bait. We're going to think it's going on that way, but they're taking both. It's crazy. We got to remember, if they have a 2-man crew in the Tucano, they also have the thermal imaging camera. Yeah, it's 2 sets of 2, so interesting. Blue 4 are going to be handicapping themselves tonight. What worries me, though, is, you promise not to say anything? I'm expecting one of these towns to get firebombed at that rate then, but again, what worries me is I balance this knowing how KOG has done all of my missions previously and how they handled Kill KOG, and that was with a massive amount of air superiority. So I'm just hoping that those 2 Super Tucanos and the 1 drone they have in the air will help compensate for that. Because otherwise, I'm worried Op4 might be too powerful. Now, Op4, they don't have any grenades. They don't have any IEDs. They have 1 or 2 launchers here and there. I limited them to 2 SVDs per the entire operation, 2 PKMs for the entire operation. But they mainly have just AKMs and some SKSs or bolt-action rifles. What happens if Blue 4 kills civilians? We give them the good old NATO treatment, and we give them a stern scolding, and then we sweep it under the rug. Shouldn't the IR missiles still be able to lock onto the planes? I think the Igla is IR tracking. It should still be able to shoot it down, but again, I think they're limiting themselves also because I put one Igla in the AO. So we'll see. I will be honest, too. The Igla is probably the biggest piece of shit launcher for AA I've ever had the misfortune of using. I've seen pilots literally just do a standard turn and dodge an Igla without even realizing they were locked by an Igla. I remember it took me 5 Iglas being under an A-10, actively dodging me, to finally get a hit on the A-10, and then the A-10 only received moderate damage, and it was able to land back at base, repair itself, and it was back up in the air in another 5 minutes. But that required me having 5 Igla rounds to fire, so it's very, very ineffective. Basically, the Igla is there to hit any helicopter that comes in, but with the Tucanos, that could also be a pretty significant threat. Can Op4 Morphe bomb friendly AI and take their kits? No. And I'm happy with this group of players because they're under Dante, and Dante would be very quick to stomp that shit out. I think he's shooting at rabbits.
They heard us. Got it.
You got red sights, man.
Like, are we supposed to get bushes or just like...
Just sit here.
Yeah, we just
Leaders
I'll just maintain up the hill. Got
Hey, 1-3. We're only gonna be here for a second. We're
The
about
mind
to get counted
games.
out. Okay.
So, Doc has told me for his character, he's literally just trying to roleplay as a hunter with a broken wheel. And as you can see, some of the animals I had start in this town have all kind of gone out as well. So, I think he was just shooting at a rabbit. Op4 have short ranges to work with. They should still all be on the same net. If I were to take a copy, though, and we were to look at that, we can see one of their kits, for example. So we have, they're using gems, actually. And then they got a bunch of extra medical in here, but this guy doesn't have a gun on him, so he's probably got it hidden.
Let's give him a warm welcome, shall we?
But yeah, all of that room committed to medical alone. That's cat for you. A new missile system used in Liberation? Nice.
Okay, all good. 1-4, you understand you're attaching to a release point?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, all right. 1.
I don't know about the Ace Pharmacy part, but I do know about the cat medical part, and that's
Once
yes.
we pass release point, yes. You are
What
breaking
medical
in
do I
immediately
use?
saying
I
it's
use
damage.
a simplified version of
should we hit
Advanced
contact
Ace
from
Medical.
70s or 50s?
So instead of the basic bandages, it's elastic. But we use blood bags, drugs, and tourniquets, and all that stuff. We just don't do reopening wounds. And we have packs. Because I basically base my ops on what I like to play, so I don't like getting bogged down for 20 minutes when you get shot, but this is an example of a community that does. Animals spawn on their own? No. The only animals that spawn on their own dynamically are snakes and rabbits, unless you have a map like Mull of Kintyre, which is a Scottish map where they replaced all the snakes and bunnies with sheeps. And I forget the other animal that spawns dynamically in the place. I think it's bunnies and sheeps, actually, and they replaced all the snakes with sheeps. But they only spawn client-side unless they open a door, in which case the bunny becomes server-side. Don't ask me how that works or why it works that way, it's just how it does. But yeah, bunnies and snakes or any animals that dynamically spawn around players' client-side can open anything server-side, and then that causes them to spawn for everyone server-side. It's really It's really weird. Like, that one's a weird one in the Bohemia code, but that is how it works.
Oh, just fired off on the ridge.
So they see the fire up there. So that, I think, is a smoking BMP. I didn't realize their smoke effects for their fire would go up this high. I was just trying to make a smokeless fire to put thermal signatures on this BMP wreck to potentially threaten air. But that's another really funny thing. All of my stuff to fake air out isn't up here. But they got the Land Rovers marked properly. But it looks like they tuned out all the other stuff. So I'm going to have to be a little more cheesy with some of my stuff later. Cat's not a new mod, no. It's been around for a while. It's just, again, it makes medical very, very advanced, so not a lot of communities use it.
Because we all both have to go through that single entry
There's
point.
no bugs, only features, yeah, right?
Alright, copy.
I don't know. Arma's a very interesting beast. I have him marked as the red car. That's funny. Alright, I'm gonna put a Civic through the AO just to help throw things off.
منتظرم دارم میام شنیدم شنیدم دریافت شد انجام میدم انجام میدم دارم میام
Go from there. The bugs are the features, yeah, at this rate, right? You generally don't want to spawn things in front of players because it breaks immersion, but if you need to, you can use things like smoke grenade effects or whatnot. If you're doing 40k, for example, and you want to simulate warp effects, I find one of the easiest ways to do that is to spawn a colored smoke grenade and have stuff come out of the smoke. People seem to really enjoy that, but you generally don't want to put stuff in people's view because it breaks immersion. And I usually feel really, really bad when that ends up happening because, again, it's not what I want. Is he tied to the air assets? I think he's respawning now, yeah. Something broke with this mission file in the sense of the SQFs I usually load in aren't running properly, so I gotta figure out why that's the case. I'm willing to bet someone probably unpacked my mission file, deleted everything in there, and then put in a new pack of stuff. Because that's usually how it happens, but it's fine. It just means I don't think I have tracers on, and the description extension's boofed. Oh, come on. You need a TP? Goog? I'll check back in a second. Oh, by all means, water guard. Go for it. Because that script is just ripped out from the base game's spectator interface. Oh, God.
Beautiful. That was a bait vehicle.
I want to cover this. I can't hear what you're saying.
That's
There it is.
hello.
All right. Yep.
Okay. I'm with air. I'll
right.
figure it out.
Okay.
Don't worry about me.
You don't need to. Okay. Gotcha.
Holy shit, dude! What the fuck?
Contact rear. Taking contact.
Kenny down.
Move it. Move. Billy, move.
And jump me down.
Run, brother. Run. Oh my god.
The EPW got released by another civ.
I'm trying to surrender him.
Move back on first.
So I'm curious if, nope, there's no thermal lining here. We got the other guys coming up here. These four got smoked. That was perfectly timed with that vehicle coming up so I could release Dante. All right. Oh no.
Hey, that's from the 60s again.
Oh, he got smoked. Yeah, they're suppressing the shit out of this building. Oh my god. This guy. That was, I think, him respawning back up there. Again, Op4 have 2 lives. He got shot as he respawned. What? They shot you so hard you died on respawn. Oh my god.
Oh fuck, because he's like, I drove through a checkpoint. I'm like,
Right.
oh, am I walking up on a checkpoint? And I look to my left and there's a fucking ranger standing there. And I'm like debating whether or not to just fucking end his op right there, but I didn't want to be a dick.
Right? Oh my god. Alright. That was pretty funny. So, when you respawn, it's only supposed to give you like half a second before you, or a quarter of a second it holds you in place, but for whatever reason it held his AI there as a CSAT unit for a little longer, else you see these Vics getting cooked out. And then you got these guys holding.
Get a flash up there.
Alright, so they double tapped him.
We just got a frac, so I'm gonna go look at him.
One of these guys has a fracture, so he did get shots on them. He just wasn't quick enough, but that's okay. Again, I also told Dante's crew, try not to outright murder all of them, because I feel like they could, with the limitations on both sides, but, you know, we're still going to see some good firefighting here. I'm also going to have a little bit of QRF come into the AO here, so let's go ahead. Yeah, we're on the northern side, so I'm going to go... Oh! They're getting the heavy guns now, the hidden vehicles with everything. So let me throw them, the players off as well, the blue 4-1 specifically. Let's have this come up. Set this to careless hold fire for now. And pray to God that he doesn't decide to crash in some random position. It's time to get out right there.
Definitely first, sure.
First story target building.
Oh, good little window. Would Insurgent show that kind of mercy? No, but this is a game.
Hey, no, don't you do that! Why you leave my fucking ass alone?
What are they doing?
I've only seen goats for days.
You know what? Goat's a lot more pleasurable than my ass. It's full of cactus.
So like I said, some are just going to play as civilians.
We're supposed to move them to CP?
But yeah, after they leave them behind, I'm going to untie them, so...
Yeah, I've been with you on second floor. You guys place down. Yeah, slam.
Alright, so from here on out, it's all going to be action. They're using little camera zoom to get in. I know, right? Poor goats.
I know. Fucking walked here, that's what. Let's take it.
Oh, you clipped with me, Dante? Releasing
Nice
Dante?
hat. I'm gonna take that hat.
No, don't you? No, I had that hat for a long time. Don't you take my hat?
He's got a radio on him. We should take it off of him.
No, that's my radio. That's not a radio.
No, I'm taking the hat.
No,
I think
no,
the radio.
that's my
got
fucking sat
fucking
phone.
drugs
That's
in
my
here,
sat
too.
phone. Don't you take my sat phone?
Yeah, this is going to be my final op for the night, but I'll probably have more streams too.
You hurt yourself, son?
What's that shovel for?
What do you think it's for? It's for digging a hole I can take a shit in.
Oh.
Think there's toilets out here? It's a third world country.
Why do you have
country.
Why do you have a Vector 21? Do you know what that is?
No, I have no idea what that is.
All right.
You want to tell me what that is? I've never heard of this. What is this Vector 21? What does that mean? You tell me. What does that mean? Your friend don't want to talk to me that much.
This is what I was hoping for too, some of the civilian interaction.
I'm talking to your friend with the pretty lips.
So fun fact, if you were here for the, oh god, for the Warhammer Fantasy Checkpoint RP, this is the same guy that you told me to ask about the Great Horned Rat at the end of my mission, or his mission, and he stabbed the shit out of me. Or technically Valkins, but that's Doc. And yeah, he's the one that knifed me because of you chuckleheads having me ask him about it. So yeah, you know.
That goes for everyone. Just double check it. Seals up on
Not attaching weapons hole.
So it sounds like these guys are
we'll
having a
make
new
that
leadership
possible.
meeting to continue to move up. They got to basically cut through this valley. They just had an airstrike hit this one position. I'm going to have these guys get down. And all right, these guys are here, so I'm gonna have them break out in a wide formation here, and have them start moving up the valley. Insults you to bed. I'm also gonna have 4 other Middle Eastern militia forces come from the south, trickling in. I'll see if I can sneak an RPG warhead or 2 up to them. But we'll see how that goes. So yeah, rest of these positions. Here, I don't think he knows, Hey, one thing. Are you trying to access the turret?
Yeah.
You have to get out and then ace interact to get in, because it's 2 separate entities, technically.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because it's an attached item.
That's still doesn't really want me to do it, though. I got it, I definitely got it. The Dishka there, and it just put me in the pack pass.
Try getting in from the side, because I was just able to from the side. So like right there? No, you're still getting into the vehicle.
Bro, I'm retarded.
So come in from right here, you'll see an interaction, and then you can see get in. And then gunner. Yeah, there you go, there you go. Yeah. I'm off. Oh, I thought they just airstrike the shit out of him. Oh my god, I was about to say they did not just airstrike me as soon as I finished with that, but I think they're hitting these guys. Oh, that would have been funny as hell. I was like, yeah, that's how you get it, you're good. Try to pull those guys back. I think he just fired a few shots and he's running.
Shoot me now? You gonna shoot me now? You gonna take my cigars?
I'll get you untied in a bit, comma, there's a civilian that they didn't tie up in a poppy field that I'm going to run to you after they leave, so just give it 5 or 10 minutes, or you can respawn after they leave. It's up to you, broski. Again, I'm in Discord comms with these guys. No, not my QRF, please. They're just 6 people. They're good, I swear. Oh, I think that other mark is the FARP I see. All right.
Oh, I want to go home.
You want to go home?
I want to go home. I got the tape for no reason.
No citizen, he says.
Do you understand?
Dante's down. What happened to Dante?
Yeah, I kind of popped up in the middle of them, and I was like, whoa, that's awkward. And he's like, yeah, that kind of is.
Someone give me the play-by-play on what happened on Dante's stream, because that sounds hilarious. Alright, I need to bring this chucklehead in. He got caught in a tree. That's the thing about some of the older Arma 1 and Arma 2 maps, is the pathfinding of the AI can be a bit messy.
Do we have to take these fucking guys?
Good luck with your lawyer.
6. 9.
Can't leave me here. It's hot.
Do we have to take these cities? Roger. That's CCP. Goodbye.
Oh, you fucking bitch. That's it. I'm gonna take the sign out, peeling my teeth. Fuck you. Oh!
I've noticed that respawns. When they respawn, there's a little lag spike. I wonder what's causing that. The Americans! Did you just get teleported out the bush? There's a flare on there. Yeah, that counts as one of his deaths, though. I told him I could untie him, but I guess he wanted to play a new life, which is fine. And you got this guy sitting on the turret and waiting. Oh my god. Jesus. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Okay.
Look, I can dream, okay? Maybe this Dishka, because again, I've got other vehicles in the open that aren't really doing anything. You know, I got this, for example. But if air gets the right angle, they might see it. So we'll see. Yeah, these broskies got dropped. We can hope, though. All right? I want to see that Dishka get a little bit of action. I want to hear Blue 4 get confused about it. A man can dream. Exactly. Summer's DC'd. Oh, that's not good. That means there might have been a KIA. Oh, they're openly shooting at every vehicle in the AO. That's... okay. Okay. We can play that game. We can play that game. No. That's fine. That's fine. We can play that game.
حاضرم. دریافت شد. شنیدم. حاضرم. انجام میدم.
We just send in more stuff. We'll just drain their ammunition. A $500 car we got from Habib, even though it probably costs more than that, but I digress. The joke I'm trying to make is Air's munitions are going to cost more than the cars I put in. Oh, wow, this poor guy's still alive. I'm going to say he's going to crawl back here. All right, dude, you putting your head up like that isn't really going to help your case, but I've hidden you to the best of my ability. $500 of car from the CIA from the Soviet-Afghan War. All right, so let's start cleaning up a few bodies up top. I'm waiting to see when they're going to pull that Igla out, to be honest.
فهمیدم. دارم میام.
Yep, one Igla, one round, and I think they're going to time it so that they bring it out when they absolutely need to. Looks like these guys are suppressing that position. You still got these guys holding. And you know what? You know what? I have an idea. Let's say we've got someone that just really is having a bad day. Someone that doesn't want to deal with this BS. Plus, panic civilians will, you know, do a lot of weird stuff when they're desperate. That should take him out of the AO. Alright, so now Blue 4 is going to be making a sweeping action here. Oh, my tracer thing is working. What?
Warlord Romeo message.
Romeo, this is Warlord. Send message over.
Warlord requesting TP for 1 times tipsy to 1-1.
Wilco, stand by. Where's 1-1? That's 1-6 and 1-9. There's 1. Alright. Oh, he is down there. Neat. Oh, I didn't notice him. Oh.
Oh, that's not good. Uh-oh.
Romeo, this is Warlord. I'm going to take PM back. He didn't have his kit sorted, and I forgot to check.
Romeo copies. Apologies. Thought he was set.
It's all right. Grab your kit and do it. Normally he tells me when they're ready. I didn't check because I thought usually when he tells me the TPM, they're ready by then. So that was just a breakdown communication on our end. So grab your kit, tap my shoulder, and I'll get you back in there, okay? Okay, that was pretty funny. That was pretty damn funny. And I got those guys getting up to his hill there. Oh, did they kill this guy? Dang, I was going to RC him and take some pot shots at him. They're detaining more civvies. Headphone warning, headphone warning, headphone warning. Here we have the RPG god, stalking his prey through the tall grass. Although he has the Zeus ability to see everything on the field, he opts not to use it, for he does not need the crutch. Unfortunately, that means finding his prey with the RPG is going to be that much harder. Utilizing sound and echolocation alone, he's more than likely not going to find his prey. He scoffs at this. knowing that his enemy is somewhere down here. But he simply can't. I got caught because it doesn't let me V-key. It made me put the RPG away to V-key, but I saw them and I'm like, ah, well, I'm in trouble, but anyway. It appears he is suffering from what the doctors call a skill issue. Oh no!
Yeah, just respawn, pal.
Oh no!
I don't know.
Oh no! Air struck it. I had a feeling that would happen. Not the dish. Oh, there's a second one, thankfully, and then there's an SPG-9 truck. Here.
I think we got struck by air.
If you got struck in that airstrike by the civilian car that had the dish gun in it, I'll give you a third life. But that's the only mulligan I'm going to give. Just because I think for some of them that was their second life, and I want to keep the game going. So I'm going to put in, I'll put in a few extra ones, but we'll see how things go. Plus, I think they still have the SPG-9 car to work with. Oh boy. They're firing rifle grenades down there. Well, no, it wasn't an irrelevant target because he was firing with that Dishka earlier. It's just, I was hoping those targets would only kill 1 or 2 players at most, but instead there was like 4 or 5 around there, so I'm like, oh shit, alright, in that case. Karma trusts me to balance things accordingly, both player and AI against him. So we're just gonna rock that. So they're keeping the other Dishka truck in reserve, but now we have the SPG-9 truck coming in. Oh boy. Alright, you run out of the AO. What group's playing Otport? It's Dante's group. The 228th, I believe. Almost hit the wrong button there. That would have been awkward. Quick check back at base. No one's back here. I'm just, again, trying to be mindful of anyone.
Doramıyorum. Doramıyorum. Daryop şut.
No, they're all lost somewhere.
That's a miss, Payne. Well, Mad, what do you think it's going to do? What do you think it's going to do, Mad? And is there any incentive? No. No, there really isn't. I just have to send in more Vicks to basically distract them at this point. Ooh. Oh, no. What? Oh. What caused that? Oh. Everything just went down. Oh, no. So their server and TeamSpeak are tied together, so I think everything just went down. Oh, that's a shame. I have no idea what caused that. From an asset point of view, because here's the thing, it's not just an Arma issue, the TeamSpeak also went down, and it went down suddenly. So I think either the server, usually it's not a DDoS, because a DDoS, it would be more gradual. This was instantaneous, but it was also on both the Arma and the TeamSpeak server, so I think the box just lost connection to the internet. Unfortunately. So I don't think it was overload either, because again, this is all very standard for the operation. I was too powerful with my PKP. But I think the internet on the physical server where they host everything out of lost connection. If it was a DDoS, we would have seen a more gradual degrade. But again, the real tell is that the TeamSpeak and the Arma server are running on the same box. So because both of those applications ended immediately, yes, FNF also had the exact same issue. But they run it on separate boxes, which is why the TeamSpeak didn't go down. But they run this on the same box, so I think the internet just got taken. Because otherwise, again, we'd see it different. The difference here is the FNF box only dropped internet for 2 seconds and then reconnected. This one, though, there was no sign of reconnection, so it just means internet was severed at the thing there. So that's just unfortunate, but let me message Karma. Here. I'm going to message Karma and see what's going on, but based off of the fact the TeamSpeak and the server lost connection at the same time instantaneously, I think they just lost internet. Based on how that happened, I think the internet died for the server box. That's a shame. But based off of the balance, we definitely had enough here for me to basically get with Karma and talk about the next phase for this stuff. Yeah, I think it's a data center issue. Yeah, that's what I would say. Just again, out of someone that's seen pretty much every type of crash under the sun. I'll use this as an opportunity to talk about it, though. If you have a degrade, like let's say you're running, let's recreate the scenario here. Let's say your server and your TeamSpeak are running on the same box. That means they're both prone to DDoSing. They're both prone to internet issues at the same time. But if one thing happens, let's say on the TeamSpeak, but not on the server box, usually that implies that there's something wrong with the application itself. So if Arma 3 started desyncing, that's probably because there's something on the mission file that's causing that desync rather than an internet issue, because you would see that reflected on the TeamSpeak as well. If it's a DDoS, then both things are going to gradually degrade and then eventually shut down. But if it's an instantaneous shutdown, one of, again, 2 things can happen. And both of these have happened to me. 1, internet gets shut off. It happens. It sucks. Or 2, the data center burns the fuck down. Not even kidding. 2 years ago, we were Zeusing an op, and the server randomly crashed, and another server we were running also crashed, and we looked it up, and a data center burned down, and it happened to be the data center we were using. And that was also after we had to remove the P90 T90 channel because Discord was being a butt. And we blamed it on the fact we couldn't pin Andy T90 because it literally happened a few days later. Ah, that's a shame. But here, let me message Karma real quick. talking with some of your guys in my chat, and from my own experience, it's, again, either the internet got shut off on the box locally or it could be a data center issue. So I'm not sure we're going to be able to recover, but this was awesome, exclamation point. I'm sure we have a lot to talk about, but I think the balance was also pretty solid, and I'm very excited for the next time we pull something like this. Now let me message the other guys.
Send in GOAT Team 6 now.
So based on the fact they can't get a connection back to the box, I think this is going to be it for us, guys. But I appreciate you all coming out. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message. But I will let you know where we go in the future, because this will be a weekly thing for me. And any of you are welcome to come back, because I've got a slew of things coming up for these guys every week. No, you're good, broski. Comma, these things happen, exclamation point. Take it from the guy that's been doing this since 2016. It was only a matter of time, to be perfectly honest. But we just get to move forward from here. And that is one of the unfortunate truths, guys, is when you work with Arma 3, you will eventually run into a random server issue, a random mission file crashing issue, a random YouTuber from Australia that wants to DDoS you for 9 weeks. It happens. It happens. You gotta roll with the punches. You gotta look at what happened here. Don't take anything personally and just go, how can we make the next one better? So anyway, guys, this will be it for me. We'll go back. Give me like an hour or two. I'll either do some Dark Side with Dante, or we'll work on some mission file stuff. But yeah, we'll go from there. Might have some more streaming later, but thank you so much for watching, guys. It's a shame it was halfway through the action, but shit happens. Go operate operationally. If I don't catch you later tonight, I will see you guys on Thursday night or Friday. Because, again, I'm going to go hog hunting. If you want to chat with me about anything, feel free to shoot me a message on Discord. I am definitely going to need it, because for the next few days, I'm just going to be in the woods with a with a satellite connection on my phone, just chilling on Discord as I look for hogs. So cheers, guys. Have a good one, and go operate operationally.